Hey guys, so I wanted to film just a little tutorial on slip stitch. It seems like something that a lot of people are having a little bit of difficulty with, so I thought I would just kind of show some tips and tricks that I use to help make it more smooth. So first tip and trick is the hook. I really like a tapered hook, and this particular hook, the Clover Soft Touch, is really great because it's super slidey, super smooth, but it has a nice little point. So that's my first tip. If the hook you're using isn't working that great, try a different type of hook. So here we are. We've got our chain that we're going to work across and our hook. We're going to skip that very loop that you're coming out of, and we're going to go right in that next one. And what I like to do is I like to hold behind where the loop is that I just entered. So back here, and I'm going to yarn over, and I can pull right through both if I tug back over here behind that stitch. So I'm going to do it again. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull straight through both. So I'm going to work across, just doing that. And it's very hard. You'd be surprised, you'd be surprised how hard it is to work while you're watching yourself through a viewfinder and not directly at your work. It's very weird. Anyway, let's work across these. Remember, when you're working any sort of slip stitch, the best thing you can really do for yourself is to work nice and loose. So if your pattern is using, let's say, a weight 3 yarn and calls for a size maybe 4 hook, that might be, a good hook normally. But if you tend to have an issue working slip stitch and being too tight, try sizing up to a 4.5 hook or maybe a 5. If you're staying, real tight, maybe try sizing up. So I'm at the end here. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn my work like you do normally when you're working flat. So in one of my patterns, when I do the slip stitch band, my first row is just normal slip stitch because it's just into a chain. The next row is slip stitch into the front loop and then into the back loop. And you alternate across. So let's see if I can turn this. Here's the row that you just did. You see all the little V's on the top of the stitches. So this is my turn chain. We're going to work into this one, and we're going to go in the front loop. These are the front loops here because they're closest to you. The back loops are these little loops. So we're going to alternate between the two. We're going to do a front loop. So you insert, yarn over, pull through both. That's a front loop. Now we're going to do back loop. And guys, it is so hard to work watching through a viewfinder. I am sorry. So if I'm struggling, that's why. Yarn over, hold behind it, pull through both. Another tip is have the hook part facing you instead of, up or backwards. Have it facing you. I feel like that helps me a lot too. So I did a back loop. Now I'm going to do a front loop. Insert, yarn over, pull through both. Now we're going to do a back one. It is so hard to work through this viewfinder, guys. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, front loop, yarn over, pull through. And you'll get the groove when you have especially gotten a couple rows done because your tension is a little bit more set when you've gotten a couple rows done. So let's see if I can work across the best I can. Oopsie, that was another front, so I have to go behind. It's hard to keep track when you're trying to watch yourself through a viewfinder and talk and explain what you're doing, but let's get across. The biggest number one tip that I will give you when working any sort of slip stitch design is keep your tension loose. And if you're not able, remember, try a bigger size hook, go up a half a size or even a full size. And if that doesn't help enough, then you can try a different hook. Like, for example, I said this one is a tapered hook. If you're trying this and it's not working, try, a Susan Bates, which might be inline and not tapered. Those are kind of some ideas that I recommend. So let's see if we can get a few more in. Insert, yarn over, pull through. Insert, yarn over, pull through. So as you can see, the more rows you work, at least for me, it gets easier. Back loop. But I feel like it really helps me, see I'm through both, it really helps me the most to turn my work a little. I almost have it working straight up and down sometimes because that just seems to work the best. Instead of trying to just work straight across like that, I turn my work. It may or may not help you. I hope it helps you. But for me, that's what seems to work the best because once you put that through and yarn over, you can just pull straight through both loops instead of having to pull through one and then pull through the next loop. See? So I hope that helps. Again, we will get better at these tutorials. Guys, it is really not easy. I urge you, go home, try and find a setup where it's not a little tricky to look through a viewfinder and crochet. But I hope that helps. If you have any more questions or if you have any other tutorial ideas you would like me to show you, comment down below, or you can send me a message on my Facebook group, which is at LG Fiberworks. I have a group and I also have a page. You can also catch me on Instagram. I'll have the links below. Thanks, guys.